Hello there, I'm Mrs. Groovy Groves and I'm here to help you with Lesson 6 practice problems. Number 1, for each diagram, decide if y is an increase or decrease relative to x. Then determine the percent increase or decrease. Okay, we're looking at this in terms of y. Okay, so I like to form my equation, but my sentence first. If I look at this, I can see that x has been cut into 4 blocks, and I can see that y is 3 out of the 4 blocks. So I like to do something like this, where I say y is 3/4 of x. And then when we translate that into an equation, you know that is means equals. So I have y equals 3/4 of means times and x. So as you can see, y is 3/4 of x. So it is a decrease, and it's a decrease of what? Well, it says we have 3/4 x. So if this was 3/4 and that's 4/4, well, that would be 1/4 a decrease. So it's a decrease of 25%. Y is a decrease of 25%. And if you think about it, if you have y equals 3/4 x, we could change that to the decimal format of y equals 0.75x. Because remember that 100%, remember that 100% is always 1 as a decimal. So if you have 1 here and 0.75, it had to have been a decrease of 0.25, which is 25%. Okay, so on B, you can see that the y was chopped into 5 pieces, and x is 4 of them. So x is 4/5. So my sentence would be x is 4/5 of y. So when I translate that into an equation, I would have x equaling 4/5 y. But I need it in terms of y, so I'm going to take the reciprocal equation. So now that it's y equals 5/4 x. I'm going to take the decimal format of 5/4. That is y equals 1.25x. Okay, so if this is representing 1.25, or say 125%, this is 125%, x would be 100%. That means y had to have been an increase of 25%. All right, number 2, I told you guys to do it differently, okay? I told you to just draw. I told you to go to the percentage, to get to the sentence, to get to the equation. Okay, so the amount of flour that a bakery used this month was a 50% increase relative to last month. So a 50% increase means that an increase would mean to add. So if we're talking about the OG percentage, the OG percentage would be 100%. And then the new amount, since it's a 50% increase, would be 100% plus 50%. So that would be 150%. So now this helps me construct my sentence. The new amount is 150% of the OG. And now the sentence helps me construct the equation. The new amount is always represented by y. Is means equals. 150% as a decimal would be 1.5. Of means to multiply, and the OG, we're going to use x. And that's it. We got this wonderful equation. Okay, on B, the amount of milk that a bakery used this month was a 75% decrease relative to last month. Okay, so we have a decrease, so that means to subtract. So the OG percentage had to be 100%, and the new amount, well, since it says 75% decrease, that means we would have to take 100% minus 75%. That means it would be at 25% now. So let's build the sentence. The new amount is 25% of the OG. All right, dissect this. We got to break it down. The new amount is represented by Y. Is means equals. 25% as a decimal is 0.25. Of the OG means times X. There's our equation. Number 3, it says write each percent increase or decrease as a percentage of the initial amount. The first one is done for you. So on A, it says this year there was 40% more snow than last year. So the sentence is the amount of snow this year is 140% of the amount of snow last year. All right, kind of similar to what we were just doing. B, this year there was 25% fewer sunny days than last year. Okay, 25% fewer. Fewer means that there would be less, so that means subtraction. So let's see, we got, where can I put the OG would be 100%, and the new would be 100% minus 25%. To give us 75%. So we can say the new amount is 7, or the number of sunny days. The number of sunny days is 75%. Is 75% of the number of sunny days last year. It's a little wordy, but it's okay. We can make it simpler on the next one. Compared to last month, there was a 50% increase in the number of houses sold this month. Okay, so compared to last month is the OG. 50% increase means that we're going to be adding. So you can see here that we would have the OG would be 100%. And if it's a 50% increase, we would have 100% plus 50% to equal 150%. So let's make our sentence a little bit easier. We can just say the new amount is 150% of the OG. You could say the number of houses sold this month is 150% of last month. Okay, D. The runner's time to complete the marathon was a 10% less than the time to complete the last marathon. Okay, that sounds a little weird. I think they kind of made a little boo-boo. Okay. The OG amount. The OG amount would be represented by 100%. The new amount, now it said 10% less. So we would have 100% minus 10% to give us 90%. So we can say the new amount, or the runner's time to complete the marathon, was 90% of the time to complete the last marathon. All right, again, it's very wordy. Let's just focus on the new amount is 90% of the OG. I think we can just make this a lot simpler. As a matter of fact, I'm going to change B. And if you want to erase it, you can, or just leave it. That's okay. The new amount is 75% of the OG. I think we just got to make it simple. Number 4, the graph shows the relationship between the diameter and the circumference of a circle with the point 1 pi shown. Find 3 more points that are on the line. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a proportional graph. Why is it a proportional graph? Because it's passing through 0 and it's a straight line. As you can see, this point here is on the graph, but it's kind of a fraction. I don't really know like what it would be. Okay, so let's double this ratio. If we double 1 to pi, do you agree we'd get 2 to 6.28? And if we tripled the ratio, we would have 3, and 3.14 times 3 would be 9.42. And if we quadrupled the OG ratio, we'd have 4, and 3.14 times 4 is 12.56. So these are all points that would be on the line. So we could say 2 to 6.28, because yeah, you can see that it's a fraction. 3 to 9.42, and 4 to 12.56. You could have also sliced it in half or made it 5 times bigger or 6 times bigger, but that's what I did. Okay, last problem for the day. Priya bought X grams of beads. Claire bought 3/8 more than that. Select all the equations that represent the relationship between the amount of beads that Priya bought, X, and the amount of beads that Claire bought, Y. All right, there's a lot going on here. So Priya, they said, is X. So Priya is the OG. And Claire bought more than that. So more than means to add. Okay, so let's do this. So we have, if we have Priya is going to be represented by X. And Claire, she bought 3/8 more than that. That they're referring to is Priya's amount, which is X. So for Claire, we're going to say it's X plus 3/8 X. And because of this 8, I'm going to do 8/8 to make life real simple and easy. So my equation, I want to put this as new. She's the new amount because Claire's amount depends on Priya's amount. Okay? And so Claire, I'm going to replace that with Y equals 8/8 X plus 3/8 X is 11/8 X. So let's find that equation. That's obviously E. And A is not an answer because it says 3/8 X. So you can count that out. You can count out B. Now let's take a look at C right here. You have X plus 3/8 X. Remember that you could rewrite that to be Y equals, we can say 8/8 X plus 3/8 X. And again, that is the same thing of what we got. That would simplify to y equals 11/8 x. Y equals 11/8 x. So C is definitely an answer as well. And then on D, what I would do on D is I would rewrite this. So I'd have y equals, and again, I would have 8/8 x minus 3/8 x. And 8/8 x minus 3/8 x is equal, y would equal 5/8 x. So it's definitely not D. So the answers were C and D. And that is it. I have helped you. This is Mrs. Groovy Grove signing out. Have a wonderful day.